Good morning, my girl. Today, I am going to introduce last topic of Tudor dynasty. Tudor dynasty lasted for only 120 years, but quite dramatic history. And final runner of Tudor dynasty, Queen Elizabeth I. Mary first appointed her to be new Queen of England in 1558. Elizabeth said that moment, "Oh my God, it is miracle." It was true feeling of her? Indeed, it was tough and difficult way. She was daughter of Anne Boleyn, and treated as illegitimate kid after execution of Anne. Also, half-sister, Mary hates her, and risked to be executed every moment. However, she became Queen Elizabeth I when she was 25 years old. This portrait is when she was in coronation. England people gone crazy for new queen. In the first council of her 1589, she was asked to get married and deliver baby. She made a speech in this congress. She said, she has two bodies, one is the body natural, and one is the body politic. And she continued, I got married with my kingdom, England. We are watching history from backward. So, we know that, her this word became true. But, nobody believed her words at that moment. Because, she had boyfriend. Sir Robert Dudley, noble family of England. They know each other, when they are small. And when Elizabeth was in London Tower due to Wyatt rebellion, he also be there, for another suspect. He was muscle man, and good at dancing, good looking boy. But, he already had a wife. And, this wife suddenly dead, by accident. It defined as accident, but this gossip forced Elizabeth to give up to get married with him. But, still when she was young, she was crazy for Dudley, and lost chance for her marriage. Philip II, Ivan the Terrible, Henry III of France. Many candidates approached her. But in the last moment, she did not make clear answers for their proposal. It was also her strategy to avoid war with other countries. Therefore, people called her as Virgin Queen. Real face of Elizabeth was flank and open, according to the historical record. She likes to go and watch bear fight. And sometimes enjoy party, hard dancing, screaming. However, she was excellent for her propaganda. Luckily for her, William Shakespeare was there. William Shakespeare produced beautiful and brilliant image of Elizabeth. They did not have any TV, internet, SNS. So, once someone create icon, it develops image by itself. For example, she got smallpox when she was 30 years old. Afterwards, wig and perfect makeup became necessary item for Elizabeth. And, she dressed up herself with luxury jewelry, costume. It accelerated her fabulous image. However, outside circumstance disallowed her to enjoy easy life. She has one strong enemy. Mary Stuart, later, Mary, Queen of Scots. Actually, daddy of Elizabeth, notorious Henry VIII has an elder sister. Her name was Margaret, and indeed, Catherine of Aragon, wife of Henry VIII defeated her husband, James IV. Since Henry VII, founder of Tudor dynasty, is father of Margaret, Mary Stuart also has authority to be Queen of England. On the other hand, Anne Boleyn, mother of Elizabeth, was just a maid before. Therefore, as a blood, Mary Stuart was more noble, blue, rather than Elizabeth. Margaret became Queen of Scot when she was 6 years old, and also became Queen of France when she was 16 years old. Also, Mary Stuart was Catholic, Elizabeth was Protestant. So, many reasons, they must hate each other. When messenger of Mary Stuart visited England, Elizabeth asked many things about her. Messenger replied, with wisdom. But, suddenly, surprise happened in 1568. Mary Stuart came to England, as a refugee. After Mary back to Scotland, Mary Stuart remarried with Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley. But, he was egoistic playboy, and Mary Stuart did not allow authority to him. Henry suspected, Mary Stuart falls in love with David Rizzio, he was musician. And when Mary and Rizzo was enjoying dinner in palace, someone hit Rizzo. Historical record noted that Rizzo was killed inside skirt of Mary Stuart. Scotland aristocracy hated this fancy-free attitude of Mary Stuart, and helped Henry. Yes, it was planned by Henry Stuart, Lord Darnley, husband of Mary Stuart. That moment, Mary Stuart was pregnant, and she's still in Scotland. For Henry, newborn baby will snatch imperial throne from him. After 3 months from death of Rizzo, Henry was killed by explosion. Rumor said, it was done by James Hepburn, Earl of Bothwell. James Hepburn kidnapped Mary Stuart, and forced her to get married with him. Scotland aristocracies against Mary and Hepburn as rebellion, and won the battle. Consequently, Mary had to escape to England, as a refugee. Elizabeth could not agree for execution of Mary Stuart in initial stage. Elizabeth prepared best hospitality for Mary Stuart. Style of Elizabeth was crafty schemer, and not easy to make a determination. Indeed, her life was full of patience. Anyway, Mary Stuart was narrow to avoid for execution at that moment. Mary Stuart was different from Elizabeth. Far from patient. Even in London, she openly spoke, I have authority to be queen in England. And Catholic group pick up her, as their icon. They agitated rebellion, against Elizabeth's domination under Protestant rule. Elizabeth suppressed this rebellion, but with this reason, Vatican excommunicated Elizabeth. But, it accelerated ill feeling against Elizabeth, among Catholic group. Also, William Cecil, Prime Minister, supported Elizabeth. Meanwhile, number of executions against Catholic increased these 1570th. They used hanging, dismemberment for their execution. They even cut body in small pieces, and boiled these in pot. Value of human life was so light, and easy to be abandoned these days. Spain was very unhappy with this phenomenon, in England. Indeed, Spain was oppressing Netherlands without mercy. England was exporting their wool, and it was a crucial problem for them. Therefore, Elizabeth secretly supported their military cost, weapons. But, Spain discovered this, and their relationship was getting worse. Then, Elizabeth considered to promote alliance with France through marriage. Elizabeth was already 46 years old, and Francis, Duke of Anjou, was 24 years old. First moment, Elizabeth was not really happy for this marriage topic. But, Francis was very aggressive, and visited England for propose. Elizabeth was very touched, and called him my frog. It seems, Elizabeth was serious for this marriage. Eventually, Privy Council strongly opposed for this marriage. And 5 years later, he was passed away by his sick, just when he was 29 years old. These days, her topic was, full of gossip, love affairs. Her routine boyfriend, Robert Dudley, remarried with Lettice Knowles, friend of Elizabeth. However, still Robert Dudley was her favour, through her life. Also when Elizabeth was 50th, fall in love with Robert Devereux, 2nd Earl of Essex. But, eventually, he was executed due to rebellion. Still go on? She also had another boyfriend, Sir Walter Raleigh. His life was so exciting, and dramatic. He was a hero of Spanish Armada. But eventually, he was executed in the era of James I. Almost forgotten. Back to the topic of Mary Stuart. Actually, still Mary was insisting, she is proper Queen of England. And finally, surroundings of Elizabeth decided to eliminate Mary Stuart. Sir Francis Walsingham prepared a trap on Mary Stuart. And unfortunately, Mary Stuart picked up this opportunity. 8th of February, 1587, eventually execution of Mary Stuart was conducted. It took 2 strikes to behead Mary Stuart. Finally, they, Elizabeth, and Mary Stuart never see each other. However, this execution raised sensation in the Catholic world. Especially Spain picked up this opportunity to attack England. Actually, that moment, pirates was dominating age of discovery. And Elizabeth was supporting them as well. Philip II decided to send his Armada to hit England. Armada was supposed to be strongest navy in the world that moment. Against this Spanish navy, England selected its own tactics. Asked pirates to be their navy. She appointed Sir Francis Drake as an Admiral of England. Anyway, this Sir Francis Drake was one of hero in navy history in the world. 1588, they met in English Channel. In the history book, it seems English Navy beaten Spanish Navy. But actually, truth was both suffer a war of attrition. Just because England was home, and Spain was away, England could ensure stability of its logistics. Indeed, number of deaths for Spain, most of them were not by battle, but by shipwreck, epidemic, and starvation. Navy battle lasted over 3 months, and Queen Elizabeth visited front line of the battle. And she made famous speech in there. Eventually, Spain was forced to back to their home country. Elizabeth made use of this chance, and announced to the world, they are winner of Spanish Armada. She should do this propaganda. England was suffering many difficulties, at that moment. But, still she enjoyed her life as a queen. And postpone what she has to do. I mean, appoint her successor. But, eventually, the moment came, when she was 69 years old. This portrait was few years before her passing away. Still she pretend, she is young. But, her health drastically declined, and she recognized her end of life. And she passed away, on 24th of March, 1603. Privy Council appointed James VI and I to be a new king. Now, she rested in Westminster Abbey with Mary I, her half-sister. She was good at speech to catch the heart of England people, and produced Golden Age of England. But it is true that Tudor dynasty ended up by her, and new dynasty was from blood of Mary Stuart's side. Meanwhile, it is also true that Tudor dynasty established English absolutism, and each and every kings and queen were very difficult to verify, good or evil. Anyway, I am going to close topic of Tudor dynasty, but my girl, I really hope that it leads to further curiosity of your academically interesting.
As the journey continues.